Nur Aina Iman binti Roslan, Anis and Core for today. Our hot topic is for today is about chicken supply and demand. So before we start our topic for today, I would like to give the definition of supply and demand. What is supply and demand? The economic dynamic between producers and consumers of different goods is known as the law of supply and demand. According to the supply and demand hypothesis, a product's price is determined by two factors, its accessibility and consumer desire. The sellers will provide more of the commodity to the market if the price is high. Our first topic we will talk about is if chicken selling price stays, a supply-demand mismatch will be exacerbated. Article, it said that maintaining a chicken price cap will make the conflicts between supply and demand in the poultry market worse since it will deter poultry breeders from increasing their output. This took place as a result of increased demand for chicken, which was not met by an adequate supply, leading to a shortage. The government announced that they had reached a decision and reintroduced a new cap price to be established for the chicken last month. As we can see from the article, this is also because the scarcity of protein during the holiday season and the rising cost of the raw materials and ingredients used to make chicken feed.
Kuala Lumpur, retaining ceiling price for chickens will exacerbate the tension between supply and demand in the poultry market, as it will discourage poultry breeders from stepping up supply. According to this issue, the government announced its decision to remove ceiling price for chicken. Ceiling price imposed on chicken and eggs to curb price hike on the products had led to price distortion in the market. Shortage of chicken was caused by a supply-demand mismatch which would be readjusted by market force over time. The movement control orders had led to the price hike. During MCO, many poultry breeders scaled down their production and laid off their workers to stay afloat. Now, after MCO, the economy is gradually recovering and the demand for chickens is picking up again, and therefore the prices are soaring due to a supply shortage. This period of price hike is inevitable, and if left undisturbed, the supply will catch up with the demand because poultry breeders will eventually step up production of chickens. However, the opposite happens when ceiling prices are reintroduced. The actual profit opportunities from chicken in the market will not be reflected. Consequently, producers will not see the need to scale up supply. Some of the producers may even abandon domestic production, generating unemployment. As a result, consumers will find fewer chickens and at higher price in the market. Currently, the ceiling price for standard chicken is Rm8.90 per kilogram in Peninsular Malaysia and will remain so until 30 June. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nantalingi said chicken price could soar up to RM12.50 per kilogram when the ceiling price was initially to be lifted on 1st July. However, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the government would retain the ceiling price for chicken and that the Agriculture and Food Industry Ministry will announce the new ceiling price soon. The three factors that may influence the supply of chicken in the domestic market. First is sellers' expectation about future price. If the price is expected to be increased in the future, the local farm may hold back some of the chicken today. They want to build his stock to take advantage of the higher price in the future, at which time he will sell. Next is resources price. Resources are input needed to produce a good. Resources for chicken are the food and small chicken. When the price of resources increase, it also will raise the production cost. Thus, the supply of chicken will fall down. The last one is number of sellers. When there are more people selling a chicken, the supply of chicken will be increased. Thus, the supply curve will shift to the right. However, the price of chicken will fall and there will be a number of farmers will leave the industry as profit decrease. As the farmer leave the industry, the supply curve will shift to the left.
I will explain about the theory of demand and supply. Firstly, the demand curve. Demand curve is the inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demand for any product. As you can see, the demand curve, the quantity demand is on the horizontal axis and the price is on the vertical axis. Its downward slope reflects the law of demand. As people buy more product, services, and resources, the price will fall. So, the relationship between the price and quantity demand is inverse or negative. There are few factors of the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Okay, firstly, income effect. Lower price increase the purchasing power of a buyer money income. It enables buyer to purchase more than before. Lastly, substitution effects. At lower price, a buyer have the chance to substitute what is less expensive product for other products that are not relatively expensive. For example, when the chicken price increase, people willing to consume other substitute good instead of chicken, which is more affordable. Next is law of demand. The law of demand is shown by a demand curve, which is downward sloping. Other things is equal. The law implies that as the price increases, the quantity demand will decrease. As we can see, based on our issue, most of the sellers had to increase the price of chicken to lower the demand of chicken, as the supply of chicken is insufficient. Now, let's move to the supply curve. The upward slope of the supply curve reflects the law of supply, and the relationship between the price and the quantity supply is positive. Law of supply states that as the price rise, the quantity supply rise. As the price fall, the quantity will fall. Producer will produce and sell more of their product at high price than low price. Law of supply also direct relationship between the price and quantity supply. Therefore, the issue of insufficient chicken supply can be solved if the seller increase the price of the chicken to increase and maintain the amount of chicken supply.
It is imperative to address the issue of growing chicken prices, especially for low-income and individuals and college students, knowing that most Malaysians fall into the B40 and M40 groups is extremely concerning. Not to mention, many of them are impacted by COVID-19, which can result in job loss and a reduction in income. Since chicken is one of the key sources of nourishment, the problem of rising chicken costs need to be addressed. Some of them must go through extreme starvation to save money to prioritize other more important spends like education and business. Today is 2022 and close to enter 2023. Facing with chicken price should not be an issue, since chicken is one of the basic necessity that all level of status in society able to purchase. After some debate over the issue, it was decided that reducing the minister's salary would be the best course of action. This is to help them cope with the rise in chicken prices. The allocation can be directed in this way. They must be attentive and sympathetic. towards the populace in their role as minister. They ought to accept the initiative right away as a result. The economy of our nation will return to normal and stability by finding a solution to this problem, which will also advance our nation.
Buy another substitute goods such as fish or meat that gives the same amount of protein as chicken. So as we know, chicken, fish and meat are one of the same substitute goods, which means a change in the price of any substitute goods will affect the demand of the other substitute goods. So when a price of chicken rising, people can substitute from chicken to fish or meat. Next, encourage people to take the course for poultry farming. So what is poultry farming? Poultry farming is the raising of the domesticated birds such as chicken, turkeys, ducks and geese for the purpose of farming meat or eggs for food. Since the price of chicken has risen, we could actually start a poultry farm to maintain our food resource. There are many benefits for poultry farming such as less capital required, no need for a big space, high return in the short time of period, license are not compulsory and many other good benefits. People can also produce a lot of chicken feeds that can help their poultry farming success. In conclusion, demand and supply is an important knowledge that people need to learn. As we know, demand is the ability and willingness to buy a specific product in a given period of time at a particular price. Meanwhile, supply is the ability and willingness to sell specific quantities of goods in a given period of time at a particular price. Through the article, we can see that the price of chicken has risen due to the supply shortage. So the high demand for chicken during the festive season and the increase in the price of raw materials to produce chicken feed are among the factors that contribute to the shortage of the supply. We as the users have to be always prepared with any changes in the price of our goods. To do this, we need to know a lot about economics, especially things that are happening in our surrounding. This is because we make economic decisions every single day, such as what to buy, whether to work or play, and what to study. So, we respond to markets all the time. The price of the goods influence our decisions. So, if we have the knowledge about the economy, it could benefit us in our financial status.